a couple years down the road, you are looking for the next thing, right?
Okay.
Because you finished your book, at
Okay.
least not necessarily finished writing it, but getting it like sent to a publisher is kind of like a conclusion in a sense. Like
Oh yeah.
the work is done, and from anything from here on out is just a product of that work,
Yeah.
that's presented to the audience that's going to find it. So it does
100%.
feel like kind of a final moment of all your work.
Yeah.
And I think naturally I've experienced this, when you complete something that feels like very monumental to you. Um, it's not you don't just like whistle along and you're immediately like, neck deep in the next thing that you're gonna complete. Like it doesn't work that way all the time. That
No.
there isn't always a clean transition from one significant project to the next. And there's some stumbling and bumbling in the dark, and you kind of have like been doing that and you felt a little aimless. You felt a little lost.
Yeah. Very real.
For sure. But that's also like part of the cycle of being an artist, whatever or creative. And you understand it and you've honestly like made peace with it, but it doesn't make it any easier to like have to live through.
Sure.
And then you were at the grocery store one day
Okay.
shopping around and you hear somebody on its cell phone in the aisle like a little further down from you. It's this lady, she's comparing boxes of condoms. She's like picking them up and reading the back of them. But she's on the phone with somebody, right? And she's like, "You would not believe what happened to Darlene." And she's like, again, like, like adjusting how far it is, like trying to read the boxes. And she's telling the story, but in between, she's like a 12 count. And she kind of like, you see her like do some finger math and she's like, okay. And she puts it in her basket.
Yeah.
And but throughout that whole time, she's like telling the story. She goes, well, Darlene and Gerald have been having problems, and he's been spending all day at that gas station video poker game. She goes,
Yeah.
Darlene's had enough. She's about ready to leave.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait. And you kind of like sit there on it for a second. And you're like, a video poker machine is like driving a wedge in this marriage.
Yeah.
It's like kind of weird. And so you
Yeah.
do some digging. And you're actually kind of astonished to discover that the state of Illinois is like the video game, like like capital of the United States. There are more locations in Illinois to play like video poker than there are in Las Vegas, right?
That
There's
horrifies me.
almost there's almost 50,000 terminals, just under that, all over the state, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of and it's like if you're not from there, you'd have no idea, right? But
Yeah.
you walk into any restaurant, any gas station, there's like a room, any bar, there's like video poker that you gamble on just sitting
Yeah.
there. It is fully permeated the bar culture in the state of Illinois and the
Yeah. I
gas
think,
station culture.
yeah, this horrifies me, but it's probably like a realization I'm having about, right? Like that I'm kind of accustomed to it that
Yeah.
like freaks me out.
So you think about this and you're like, you look into it and uh you wait for this woman. She's like to hang up her phone. She's buying her fucking 12 pack of condoms, and she's in line. And you're like, "Excuse me, miss, did you just say?" You kind of recount the story. She's like, "Yeah, why?" And she looks at you like kind of weirded out, and you're like, "This is
Sure.
weird. I'm a writer. This is thing that's right in my wheelhouse." She's like, "Would it be at all possible to talk to Darlene?" And she kind of like looks at you funny. She's like, "I don't know, but Darlene does love to gossip." She goes,
I would
"Give
do
me your
this.
number and I'll send it to Darlene. And if she wants to talk to you, she will." So you give her your number. You see she saves it in her phone as weird guy at CVS, right? She like clearly does it right in front of you. She hits enter and then she kind of looks you in the eyes and you look at her in the eyes and you're just kind of like, all right, whatever. So you don't think much about it. A couple days go by, you get a text from a number you don't recognize. It says, "Hey, this Darlene." She goes, she says, "Call me the number two, talk." So
Um,
you give her a call. She tells you that she is located in New Athens, Illinois. Probably like, I don't know exactly 45 minutes an hour from St. Louis, right?
yeah,
It's a town that has like a bit of a river culture. There's like a river that runs nearby. People will go and like fish, but you can just catch nothing but fucking gar. Like it's just like it's not a
yeah,
fish it's not a sport fish. It's not like a cooking fish. It's just like a nuisance fish that will bite your fucking hand off. And that's just how these
yeah.
people live. They know that at any moment they could pull a fish from the river that would bite their fucking hand off, and they still show up every single Saturday and Sunday.
Hell yeah.
So that's where Darlene and Gerald are from. And you basically are like, Darlene, you're like, I thank you for, letting me, hear your story. She goes, you said, I'm a writer. I overheard that you and your husband were having problems, and the source of it all was a video poker machine. And she's like, yeah, down there on the corner at the gas and go, they got three machines in there. And Gerald's fat ass is at one of them right now. She said,
I
and
would
so
try
she
not to
she
laugh like that.
I mean, you kind of stifle your laughter, and she goes on to tell you that like Gerald spends like all of his free time at the machines, right? He says he never sees anybody win him. He's just waiting. He's gonna be the one. And he just
Okay.
spending all of his time, all of his discretionary, all of their discretionary money is getting pumped into these machines at the gas and go.
Yeah.
And of course, he's going to grab a fountain soda while he's there. He's going to grab a bag of popcorn while he's there. You
Yeah.
know, he's going to head after the car, put a little bit of brandy in that soda,
Yeah.
help him get through the day.
Sometimes.
So you like hear this woman's story, and there's a desperation in her voice. There's a yearning for a time before this video poker chaos that's spread all across the country. It's just tearing people apart.
Sure.
And you want to go see it firsthand. So you decide to book an Airbnb in New Athens. It was $12 a night,
Is, is
taxes,
this
fees,
like,
all of it.
is that like because New Athens is like so cheap, or is that because
Yeah.
like the economy is damn?
Yeah. Yeah. New Athens is just, yeah, nobody's going there.
Yeah.
So you book an Airbnb, you're going to stay for like 4 days, right?
Sure. At that price,
Of
who lives
course.
there?
You might throw a hook into the river yourself.
Sure.
You before you book the ticket, you look at your pointer finger and you go, when I come back, you might not be here. And then you press enter on your keyboard and then that's how you book your flight.
God damn. Are
But
they
you
like
have to like come
noodling?
to no, but you got to get the hook out,
Yeah.
you know?
Fuck.
It's sort of a rite of passion, it is actually kind of a rite of passion. A lot
Yeah.
of things are a rite of passage. In New Athens, it's a rite of passion. People have a passion for the river. People have a passion for grabbing that gar by its fucking jaws, yanking them open, and getting your goddamn hook back. Because you're
Oh yeah.
not gonna let the river win. Not in New Athens.
Yeah.
So it's a rite of passion for you. Most boys in New Athens, they grow up, they hit their teens, they rip their first gar jaws apart before they got hair on their balls. So you think you might take part yourself.
Yeah. These are my people. I dig this.
So you go to New Athens, right?
Yeah.
You meet Darlene for lunch one day. Like the first day
Okay.
you get there, there's like a little local greasy spoon kind of place, you know. There's seating for like 2 dozen at the tables, maybe another 10 at the counter, right? It's
Yeah.
called Geos, GIO.
Okay.
And they call it that
What's the
because
special?
the owner, her name is Shirley Buttress. And when she signed the paperman, she said, GIO somebody a lot of money. And then she was like, Geos, Geo. And then she just, before she signed, she scratched out her name. She wrote Geos in there. So, her special thing is it says Geos, we'll chicken fry anything. So what they will do, they have a chicken fry special where you bring them whatever you want chicken fried. They'll do it for you. They'll serve it with 3 sides. You'll get a homemade roll and the sweetest, creamiest honey butter you've ever fucking had.
God
Called
damn.
It's Donaldson honey butter. The package
Donaldson.
come out. It says 100% ant free right there on the package.
Like ANT?
ANT, yeah, like the bug.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There were a lot of rumors going around that Donaldson honey butter had more ants in it than what they were leading on, you know? The Jarvis honey butter company like definitely took offense and they ran a smear campaign. The Donaldson folks, they brought in scientists, they brought in leading honey butter experts all over the world. They brought in a guy named Fred Ferguson. He was the honey butter buyer for Golden Corral. He's the
Okay.
Michael
Yeah.
Jordan of honey butter. They
Jesus.
invited him in. They had him suck it right off the tap, and he's like, "Guys, there's no fucking ants in this honey butter." So,
All
so you're
right.
there. You're there at Geo's, right? You're you're having your lunch meeting.
Yeah. Did I bring something to fry?
No, you're just gonna trust Geo's.
Okay.
You're like, this is what I'm here for. I'll do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Um, so they have like a chicken fried steak. They have chicken fried chicken. Which one would you get?
Um, I'm probably going chicken fried chicken because I
You get the
like
chicken
saying it
fried chicken
twice.
for sure. What sides would you be interested in?
What are my options here?
Okay, you got mashed potatoes with brown gravy. You got mashed potatoes with white gravy. You got cream corn. You got regular sweet corn. There's green beans. You have macaroni and cheese. It's called Ma's Mac, and it's made from
Oh,
scratch. There
yeah.
is a coleslaw. There's a baked bean. There's a just a bowl of barbecue sauce if you want it as one of the sides.
I'd probably think about the barbecue sauce, but I'm probably going like,
You get three
eh,
sides.
yeah, I feel like I'm going coleslaw,
Okay.
baked beans, and that mac and cheese because
Okay.
like I'm going with it and I'm trying a little everything.
Trying a little bit of everything. So, you put your order in, right? The food comes out, and I got to be honest with you, it's the best meal that you've ever fucking had.
Hell yeah.
This chicken fried chicken is piping hot. You cut into that crispy crust, you see the steam escape out, running for the exit. It's the juiciest, most tender chicken you've ever had in your life.
Fuck it.
The baked beans are sweet and savory at the same time. They practically melt in your mouth. The coleslaw, you taste the sharp tang, the vinegar of the lemon that's in there.
Oh, nice.
And this macaroni and cheese is so creamy. At first, you can barely get it down. It's just like so creamy in your mouth, you know? It's just rolling around all over the place, slippery, creamy. You
All
eventually
right.
figure it out. You manage to get it down. Again, it's an incredible lunch at this hole in the wall. It costs 10.99.
Jesus.
So you guys, you're sitting there eating, and she's basically telling you, she's like, yeah, the at the gas and go, he's there all the time. And
Yeah.
she's like, I've had enough. She goes, I miss my husband. She
Yeah.
starts to like tear up a little bit. Waitress comes over, gives her an extra napkin,
Yeah.
pats her on the back, kind of gives her a look and walks away. Right.
Yeah. Like they know each other.
Yeah. Everybody sees Gerald at the gas and go. It's the only place to get gas.
Yeah.
If you need gas, you're going to go there. You know that you're going to wind up seeing Gerald.
Yeah.
So, you go, right? You finish your meal. Again, it's fantastic. You tell them and you're like, I've never eaten anything that was like so it just felt like home, you know. Say thanks to the chef. You look back, look through like a little porthole window that goes into the kitchen. He's just smoking a cigarette. He kind of waves his hand at you.
Awesome.
You go back
I'd
to your
wait back.
Airbnb. What's that?
Oh, I'd wait back. For
Oh,
sure.
for sure. He smiles at you. Then he gets back to work. You go back to your Airbnb. You kind of like decompress. You had like a little recorder. You take some notes, right? You start just kind of like processing the conversation, the information. You think the next thing to do is to just go see Gerald.
Of
Just
course. Yeah.
go, meet him, right? So you do. You go and you meet him. He's just like lost in it, right? He's just lost in this video game. He's
Okay.
playing two machines at once. He can barely like utter actual sentences. He's just cycling through money. It's like he's losing like 10 cents to the dollar on every hour, right? It's not
Yeah.
going well. Occasionally he gets a big payout, but certainly it's not adding up over time.
How much is he like playing?
They're like dollar hands.
Okay.
So
So
it's
it's
like,
like,
but he's still like playing two machines at once, going through it pretty quickly.
yeah.
He's burning through a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you meet him and you're like, hey, I'd love to talk to you about these machines, what they mean to you, and how do you think it's impacting your family life? And he's just like 2, 3 word, you know, responses. He's clearly not interested.
Sure.
And you're like, should I come back later? And he's like, yeah, later. Right.
I'd
You leave.
probably, yeah. I'd probably like buy some brandy just in case for later,
Yeah.
like to kind of ply the interview.
You get a bottle of blackberry brandy.
Oh shit. Yeah.
You take it out of there. You kind of give Gerald one hard look before you leave. He doesn't even avert his gaze from the machines in front of him.
Okay.
So
Not
you're kind of
not
like,
having it.
this is your first night in town. You work like the rest of the afternoon, like taking notes, just sort of like thinking about scenes in the story that you want to tell. Just free associating, just sort of vomit drafting ideas out there. You're just sort of starting to build the stock of what will eventually be your soup.
Yeah.
It gets to be like 7 o'clock. You get hungry, even though you did have a big lunch. You're like, let's see what
Sure.
else. Let's see what else is here in New Athens, right?
Sure.
You walk around. There's a little corner bar that says Catfish. It's 9.99. So you're like, okay, it's a fucking Friday night. You walk
Oh
into
yeah.
this little hole in the wall bar. They've got some classic 1990s country music on the radio. Some Tim McGraw is playing as you walk in.
Fuck yeah.
You go up to the bar. You ask to see a menu, right? You're looking over the menu, and they see there's like a big banner on the wall. Like you look around, and there's like 7 or 8 like video game machines in this bar, and there's
Yeah.
people at them, and they're just pumping money into these things, right? And it just seems so mindless, and they're just money, money, money goes in, and they just have this hypnotized look on their face. They're just burning through time and money, and totally unaware of what's going on around them, and they're just like zombies.
Sure.
There's a big banner above the machines, and it says Queen of Hearts every 2 weeks. Are you familiar with the Queen of Hearts game?
Is this like one of those like bar games where they do a drawing out of a deck of cards?
Yeah, yeah. So it's basically
Yeah.
they take all the cards, all the regular cards plus two jokers, and they you buy a ticket for $1, right?
Yeah.
And then if you they draw like five numbers on the day of the drawing. If they draw your number, you get to flip over a card. If you flip over the Queen of Hearts, you get to take like almost all of the pot. If you flip
Yeah.
over another queen, you win like 5 grand or something. But
Yeah.
so the first card they draw, you either like win all the money, like $5,000 if you draw a queen, or if you don't do either one of those, any other card, you get like 3 grand. The second
Sure.
person gets 2 grand. The third person gets, and it's $500 down, incrementally, and they draw five cards. So some of these things get into like the tens and hundreds of thousands
Sure.
before the Queen of Hearts gets drawn, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like a big fucking thing. It's a
Yeah.
huge thing. And it's a way that like, so they pay out like 80, 90%, and then the rest of that money rolls over when the game restarts after the Queen of Hearts gets drawn. So they're doing a drawing tonight, and you're kind of like, okay, let's see. I'm gonna put some money in this game. I'm just to like, you feel like you need to connect with these people and like feel what they're feeling,
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
to like I need to do this to like experience what they're going through. And so there's like a huge like table out back with all these big cards on them, right? There's probably like 150 people outside. Everybody's drinking, smoking, having a good time. They're waiting on the drawing. You buy you buy $5 worth of tickets, right? You go out, it's
Sure.
$5, whatever. They give you the tickets. You go outside. You're standing around kind of like amongst these people. You wind up like making conversation with a few folks who are, in that kind of setting, everybody's just like polite and jovial before the drawing, and they're all like, man, what would you do if you won $38,000, And that's just like the conversation people have. And you're having that conversation with, a few different folks. You're really like headfirst in the communal experience that goes on here, and it's like fun and pleasant, and people offer to like buy you a beer, and you don't know anything about like their political leanings or their
Sure.
personal beliefs, and but like none of that even occurs to you. That's how like pleasant everybody is being. Everybody has like this
Yeah.
sense of hope.
Oh yeah.
So the guy who runs it, his name is uh Scott Hartson. He comes
Okay.
out, he's got his hair slicked back. He's got on a pair of like dark sunglasses. He takes his glasses off, he blows a whistle, everybody fucking just cheers, right?
All right. I'm probably gonna
So
cheer
you
with them, you know.
oh yeah,
I'm
you
getting
it kind of
into it.
catches you off guard, but then like yeah, as soon as you recognize it, you definitely do a little hooting and a little hollering yourself.
All right.
And he goes, ladies and gentlemen, tonight the Queen of Hearts is drawing for, and he has like a guy in like a full like a Revolutionary War uniform on the drum, and he's like doing a drum roll, right? And
Okay.
he's got like a powdered wing on and everything. And he goes,
Jesus.
tonight's jackpot is, and the guy stops, and he goes, $72,812, and everybody like fucking blows up, right?
Holy shit. Yeah.
So they lift open the top of the drum, and
Okay.
then he pulls five numbers out of the drum itself, and then he closes it. He salutes the guy, the drummer,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Get your tickets ready, everybody!" And he starts to like read out the tickets, right?
Sure.
He goes, he reads the tickets. He goes, one, one, two, and you're like, "Holy shit!" And then he goes, five. And you're like, "What the fuck?" And he goes, nine. And you go, "No way!" He goes, three, and it's your fucking ticket.
Hell
He
yeah.
draws your ticket. You scream from a place that has not been screamed from in your lineage since man didn't know fire. Like it is just like the deepest roar anyone's made, right? And
Yeah.
the place erupts, right? So you go up, they
Yeah.
draw the other five tickets. You're like, this is crazy. You get to pick any card on the table.
Okay.
you kind of survey, you look, you find one that just feels right. You
Yeah,
grab it,
that's how I do it.
you grab it and flip it over. And by God, if it's not the Queen of Hearts,
All right. All right.
and it's almost like time just stops. The
Yeah.
Queen sort of like looks up at you and she smiles and blinks. And you go, what the
Okay.
fuck?
Yeah.
You come to and you feel paper thin, right? You
Okay.
feel like you feel like you take up space in a way that you never have before.
All
You
right.
look around, you see like a gray stone garrison to your right, another one to your
Okay.
left. You kind of look over the edge. You're like standing on like a stone wall. You look over the edge, you see there's like a moat. You see the chains of a drawbridge.
Okay.
You see something in the garrison sort of move in the distance, and you turn and look, and it's a playing card.
Yeah.
It's the seven of hearts, and
Seven.
he's got a fucking crossbow in his hand.
Okay.
The
Like,
six of hearts is next to him. He's got a crossbow as well. There's a fucking oily rag torch at their feet. They're waiting to light these arrows ablaze. And they go, "My lord, my lord," and they're looking and like you're like, what the fuck? And you look down, and you are the King of Hearts playing card,
okay.
right?
Um,
And you
sure.
hear you hear in the distance, you hear horn blare, you hear "Purr, purr, 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 purr," and over the hill, riding on a horse, comes the King of Spades and all the other spades behind him. And they're like rushing your castle. They they throw a log down over your moat, and
Jesus.
and the six and seven are like, "My lord, should we light the arrows now, my lord?" You know,
Oh
and what do
shit.
you do? Do you tell
Shit.
them to light the arrows?
Man, I like in like card distance, like how close do they
I
feel? Like I feel
mean,
like
they're
I'd
pretty
like to know what
close.
the fuck's going on.
Well,
Pretty
there's
close.
clearly like two archers in the garrison to your right. There's another two to your left. You have the all the Spades army is encroaching on your position. They've breached your moat.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the moat breach feels really personal and
Oh, this
not
is
safe.
personal. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't like the immediacy. I wish I had time to process this, but I'd probably tell them to. I mean, I'm a little nervous for them to be lighting fire because they're playing cards, but like
sure.
I'd trust them to just do it. I don't know what else you do right now.
So what do you say? What do you tell
Uh
them?
I'd say like, arm the castle, you know, like
They go,
defend yourselves.
you see him like light the arrows. One of them
Okay.
takes out the two of spades, who's like walking across the wooden plank, right? He just gets a fiery arrow right through his heart, sends him off into the water. Crocodiles eat him.
Jesus.
So your archers are firing on these guys as they're making their way across. You're kind of mowing them down, right? They do have
Yeah.
archers of their own. They have some siege weaponry. They're trying to like, they're throwing boulders at your garrison. It's definitely having an effect. But this is probably like a 60-40 your way proposition at this point.
Yeah.
And then from just east of your position, you hear another "Ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-ba." And
Okay.
through the woods, you see the king of clubs. He's tall, he's thick, he's built like a tree himself. He's got a big club in his hand. All the other clubs walk
Jesus.
behind him. They're just bulky and slow, but they swing these big, heavy clubs. You direct your archers to fire on them, so now your fire spread a little less evenly, and suddenly the tide changes. And
God
now
damn.
it's kind of like 70-30 in their favor. And you feel yourself slowly being overrun. You look down, you see the ace of hearts just get his card torn in half by one of these
Jesus.
by the four of clubs, rips him in half, blood goes everywhere. He says, "I just had a baby." He like is
God damn.
clearly you hear a cry from the three of clubs deep inside the castle walls, a woman's cry.
Oh man, is it his like wife?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm just telling you what happens. So you
Fuck.
kind of like fear for the worst, and you hear my love. This woman's voice. You turn around, and the Queen of Hearts is standing there, and she looks beautiful. Right?
Okay.
She
Am
says,
I am I seeing
"Yes,
her in like how many dimensions do I see her in?
three." She's a card. She's a
Three?
playing card.
Oh,
You
she's a
know.
playing card, but she's like flat.
Yeah, she's definitely flat in some places, but she is not flat in others. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she says, "My love, if these are meant to be the last moments we spend together, know them that I always have loved you." She says, "I thank you for everything you've been to me." And she kisses you on the lips, and your heart melts. And then from behind you, you hear another set of horns.
Shit.
And from over the plains behind your castle comes the King of Diamonds and the other diamonds. And they're sleek and they fire from afar. They're shooting ranged weaponry at the club guys. You know, they're taking them out pretty easily. From a
Yeah.
distance, they're a lot safer. You see the clubs start to slowly retreat, and then the spades, feeling an imminent defeat, do so as well.
Awesome.
The King of Clubs, you and the Queen of Hearts, you stand there at the top of the garrison above the wooden drawbridge door,
Yeah.
and you like thank him. You're like my friend because we've always worn these colors together. He was in our deepest time of need. I knew I could count on you.
Oh yeah.
The King of Diamonds like walks over to you. He sort of like embraces you. You know, he wraps his card around your card and he says, "Old friend," he goes, "there are many things in this world I do not know." He goes, "But one thing is certain." He says, "I have always counted on you and I love you as well." And then he plunges a diamond-shaped knife right into your gut.
God
and
damn
then
it. Why?
he slides the knife into your gut. He like slides it upward, and all of your intestines like fall out, right? And
Jesus.
he like cuts you in half basically from like the belly button up, and then all of your guts fall onto the floor. You die in the card
Man.
world, and then your body is torn in half in real life, and you die right there in the middle
Why?
of that restaurant, right there in the bar, and everybody freaks out. Everybody freaks out. You know, they all wind up fighting each other over the 70,000 and change or whatever, and nobody walks out of their life.
Jesus.
150 plus people just after you're torn in two, they just ravage your body. They and then you know a fight breaks out and slowly spreads, and they also just wind up killing each other under a tent outside of a shitty bar in New Athens, Illinois.
God damn it.
You
Fuck.
never got to snap that fucking guard jaw.
God damn it. Why were the other cards even attacking me?
I don't know.
God damn it.
I don't know, man.
Fuck.
I've never played the Queen of Hearts game before.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah, but you died. You died big time.
Fuck.
The King of Diamonds takes over um the uh the Heart Kingdom, and then every single deck of cards produced from that point out has two sets of diamonds, and it changes gambling forever.
I, I
Yeah,
don't know if that's good or not.
the idea. Oh, it's definitely not good. The idea of
God
like a
damn
heart suit like just ceases to exist from humanity's mind.
it. Fuck. Shit. Fuck.
But you're dead.
Fuck.